this past weekend. I'm gonna try to do a couple of solo joints. This is where I do the weekend wrap up of what I saw, and then talk about some other upcoming fights. So, you know, um, I got to go back to the upset with Brian Mendoza and Sebastian Fundora. I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed seeing Mendoza, basically humiliate and basically knock Fundora out. He didn't get slept. Fundora just chose not to get up. He could have got up. He was conscious, even though he was hurt. He heard the referee count and he just chose not to give up. I mean, he just chose not to get up and he quit. Fundora quit. And I know that's going to be hard for some people to grasp. But at the end of the day, I just got to just give and keep an honest opinion. I just didn't respect Fundora because I thought to a certain degree, him being that tall and fighting at 154, I thought that was weak. And there was a lot of people that didn't respect Fundora, the towering inferno. Well, Brian Mendoza was the fireman and he put that fire out. And ironically, he came out to Little Wayne's, the fireman. And as I was watching that fight, as I did a stream a couple of days ago, I kept watching Mendoza hit him with overhands, and I kept saying, "Man, this dude Fundora is a man." And I was just watching the fight, just like saying, "Man, somebody gonna nail him." He don't got no defense, and he should be a small forward in the NBA, but he fighting at you know junior middle, not even middleweight, not even super middleweight. He fighting at junior, you know. And I kept saying, man, Mendoza is getting real close with that overhand right. I said, if he lands that eventually, he could possibly hurt Fundora. But Fundora kept making mistakes when he was exchanging. Like I said, he wasn't protecting himself. Even in exchanges, you need to protect yourself coming out of exchanges, because if a dude times you, he can hit you with a punch that'll put your lights out. That's exactly what happened with Danny Garcia and Amir Khan. Amir Khan was being reckless in those exchanges, those 4, 5, 6, 7 punch combos. Danny Garcia tied him, hit him right in his neck. And the funny thing was, Amir Khan was knocked out on his way to the canvas, and hitting his head on the canvas woke him up. I'm talking about he was literally asleep. He was literally asleep. And you saw that with Fundora. I said, dude, and I kept saying, if Mendoza don't get him, I said eventually somebody will. And he walked into and he kept hitting him. And then finally, in the seventh round, what he did was he slipped. He leaned down, and then he caught him with that. He caught him with that hook, hurt him really bad, and you seen what happened. And then when he got dropped, he was looking like, okay, I should get up, but he knew he was gonna get knocked down again, so he just waited to because he was immediately speaking right after they came over there. He just chose not to get up, and that's on him. But Mendoza ended this, and the funny thing was he took this fight on short notice and went in there and knocked him out. So I don't know what's next for him. Mendoza is talking like he ain't really thinking about a rematch. And I doubt very seriously if they had a rematch clause, based off the fact that he got signed to, fight Fundora on, what was it? Like 10 days notice or something like that. So I'm pretty sure there wasn't a rematch clause in the contract. But, you know, that was just, that was just crazy watching that happen. But it's boxing, anything can happen. Now, the other, when you cover boxing and you watch other boxing channels, I think the worst thing about doing this stuff when you do media is some of the people in the comment section. Some of these people is just delusional about some of the things that they say. And the sad part about it is you think that they don't believe it, but to a certain degree, I guess they really believe some of the stuff that come out their mouth, no matter how inaccurate it is. And I just see one of the biggest problems that you have, where you had the pros and cons of doing internet media and being your own boss when it comes to doing internet media. But the problem is you have fanboys, extremists, and then you have trolls. And then to a certain degree, you look at some of the content creators who started a lot of this being promotional bangers and, network bangers. And the funny thing is, you banging and promoting a network or a promoter, and you ain't even, on these people's payroll. And for the most part, the people that you caping for, they ain't even no guarantee that they even like you or like what you do. But they happy because you giving them free promotion. So, I just see that. And it's just difficult because, like I said, some of these dudes on here is just really delusional about some of the stuff that they just type, and push and push the the done button or the send button to just leave a comment. They really are either in disbelief or something is seriously wrong with them. But nevertheless, it is just laughable. But as predictable as some of these people is, I can just tell for the most part who a lot of these people are that come on my channel and they may leave a comment, especially when it pertains to certain boxers that I may be talking about. And I had somebody come on my channel that was hating real hard on Shakur Stevenson, on his performance. You still see this thing. You still see this thing, this racial dynamic, and people want to pretend that it doesn't exist, but you still see them put this racial dynamic on Shakur Stevenson and saying, oh, he has a boring style, he runs and all that stuff. And I'm trying to figure out, let's just keep it a buck. You name one boring fight that you seen Shakur Stevenson in. And the same thing with Devin Haney. It just come down to these people just basically trying to hate on black fighters. And then when you call them out for it, of course, they try to vilify you. But then you see them on other, media outlets basically insinuating that. And like I said before, there is a deep fear of black fighters and the domination of black fighters. That's why Paulie Malignaggi said that goofy stuff that he said, that cornball. So, but, a few people came hating on Shakur Stevenson as expected. Oh, well, that style isn't fan friendly. How is his style not fan friendly? I mean, Shakur Stevenson put on a boxing clinic. He gave you an exciting fight. But you still find people pushing these narratives about, oh, he runs and all that kind of stuff. And you know who the people that mostly say that. You hear a lot of that nonsense from Hispanic and white and other non-black so-called boxing fans. But they not really fans. They're, just bigots and racists trying to act like they boxing fan. If you don't appreciate the genius of Shakur Stevenson, then something is seriously wrong with you. They love trying to say, "Oh, he runs." I mean, Shakur Stevenson stood in front of dude pretty much the entire fight and was walking towards him. It's cap. It's cap. It's a damn lie, and that's pretty much what it is. It's just a lie. It's just the fear of a black fighter and doing anything it takes to diminish and devalue a black fighter. And let's just keep it real. And don't come on here saying this ain't about race. This is exactly what it's about, race. Okay? That's exactly what it's about. You know, it's a difference between critiquing and then trying to find something wrong. People find something wrong with fighters like Shakur Stevenson. Like I said, you always see this dynamic and this double standard. Like I said, Triple G got praised for fighting Foot Locker worker after Foot Locker worker. But then when it came to Deontay Wilder, they were saying he wasn't fighting nobody. And then they would say, oh, well, we don't want to see fighters like Andre Ward and Floyd Mayweather. We want to see knockouts. So Deontay Wilder was pretty much knocking out everybody in his path, and they was complaining about that. These people were never satisfied. At the end of the day, it's just cap. They just will find anything wrong to basically hate on a black fighter. And that's all they doing. And I'm going to continue to call them out on that because they need to be called out. I just see this. I see this way too much. I see this way too much. It's always some kind of narrative they want to create. Now, everybody is complaining about this whole thing with Shakur Stevenson, you know, trying to say that he was running and all this kind of stuff. When in that fight was he running? At the end of the day, the art of boxing is to hit and not get hit. So you give the fans what they've been asking for, and people find something wrong. Now, like I said, let me show you another double standard. And this is just real talk. Now, everybody is sitting up here, and ESPN think they slick what they trying to do. They already trying to discredit Devin Haney for beating Lomachenko, talking about this size different and all this stuff, and saying that, you know, Devin Haney is too big and he's going to blow up to 160 pounds and all that kind of stuff. But yet nobody said nothing about Fundora, who probably overnight rehydrates to possibly 170 pounds. And then not to mention he has the extreme height advantage over everybody. Like I said, the dude is the size of a small forward, and that dude ain't no 6'5". That dude is a legitimate 6'6", 6'7". And he looked like he about 6'7". So nice try. Fundora is not 6'5". That dude is about 6'6", 6'7". So stop the cap. But nobody don't complain about him being, you know, being a weight bully and being a height bully. But all of a sudden now they want to cry about Devin Haney having a so-called weight advantage. Like I said, what's going on, if Devin Haney wins that fight, they're going to try to say, oh, well, Lomachenko is old. You know, he's up there and he's had a lot of amateur fights. So they already putting the play in motion. They're already putting this play in motion. So when Devin Haney wins this fight, they can already have already have the excuse to make for Lomachenko. Like I say, Devin Haney is the wrong guy. Just like this past Saturday, Brian Mendoza was the wrong guy. He wasn't supposed to win that fight. And Brian Mendoza beating Fundora, he offset a whole bunch of different things. He foiled the plan. He foiled the plan, and that's what the problem is. He ruined the plan. What they had for Fundora, because they was trying to blow this dude up and they was gonna try to make him like literally the next big thing, and it backfired on him. He got laid out, and Brian Mendoza wasn't supposed to do that. So hopefully he don't end up like Terrell Williams with the Pritchard Cologne fight, unfortunately. So I'm just keep I'm just keeping it a buck. But the card on Saturday was very solid. You had Jared Anderson, who continues to impress, and then you have Keyshawn Davis. And he's saying he want to smoke with Frank Martin. The problem is, like I said before, is can you get these fights made? Hopefully we can. But I'll talk about that later. Anyway, appreciate you guys tapping in. Anyway, I'm out.